incident took place on Sunday in Costa Rica. He was on a family vacation. He was swimming off of the coast of a town called Cocles in the province of Limon. He was swimming at Playa Grande. I mean, I've visited Costa Rica a few times. I was there with my family a few years ago, and those currents can be very strong.
We all heard the tremble in Eddie Griffin's voice, and no, it wasn't grief alone. There was something layered in his tone, something that didn't mourn so much as it warned. When he called Malcolm Jamal Warner a warrior, it wasn't sentimental. It was a signal, a chilling truth wrapped in memory. He wasn't just looking back on shared time in the industry. He was decoding a battle scarred in silence. And if
and we had such good times together. I was probably 18 and Malcolm was probably 17, 16, I don't know. And we would take walks together, all of us, and pick up food, talk, played basketball, hung out on the weekends, went to parties together.
If you've been paying attention to how Hollywood deals with black artists who dare to veer off script, then you know this didn't feel like just a loss. It felt like a message. Griffin didn't drop names. You didn't have to. You could hear it every pause, every inflection. Brother, teacher, director, friend, then warrior. That word hit like a drumbeat from underground. They didn't just work within the system, they pushed back against it. You don't speak of a sitcom co-star like that unless the bond was fire.
Malcolm Jamal Warner has died at the age of 54. Authorities in Costa Rica telling NBC News that Warner accidentally drowned while swimming in the ocean on Sunday. Warner is best known for, of course, his Emmy-nominated...
Forged. This wasn't nostalgia. This was intel and the war. It's not new. It's the same invisible campaign, waged for decades against black creatives who challenge the packaging of their stories, who want legacy, not just limelight, who refuse to stay in character. So when word broke that Warner had drowned, we didn't just gasp, we froze, held our breath, because it followed a rhythm we've heard before. The too-neat accident. The clean headline. The unbothered closing of a case. He wasn't cliff diving, wasn't reckless. He was in Costa Rica with his wife and child, unplugging on a quiet Sunday. A family getaway, not a thrill-seeking adventure. But then came the line. That always feels like a narrative placeholder, swept away by a current. The type of phrasing that shows up when someone needs the story to be over before the questions start. But zoom in on the details and you'll find nothing adds up. The rescue attempt, according to officials, a second man went into the water to help a 29-year-old from Nicaragua, not family, not a friend, no photos, no interviews, not even a name. Just a placeholder figure described, then dismissed. He was hospitalized in critical condition, then released just days later. Stable now, recovered, vanished, no press, no follow-up, just gone, which leaves one to wonder, who was he really? A local passerby?
I wanted to remind you, as I remind myself, that no matter what's going on, there's always a reason to smile. Like, if you just take a minute to stop and take stock, I guarantee you can find at least one reason to smile. And if for some reason you can't find a reason to smile, then that's probably the best time to be the reason for somebody else to smile.
Helpful stranger with uncannily precise timing? Or a variable inserted into a story that needs too many blanks left blank? And if this sounds familiar, that's because it is. We've seen this before. Sam Cooke, Prince Michael, Whitney, Bobby Christina. When outspoken black artists start veering off, scripts start building platforms. Instead of asking permission, tragedy too often follows, and it's never just loss. It's always framed clean. A heart attack, an overdose, a freak accident. A wave no one saw coming. But Malcolm Jamal Warner had stopped playing safe. He was asking big questions. Uncomfortable ones. He'd launched Not All Hood, a podcast meant to pry open the over-curated portrayal of blackness in media. It wasn't surface-level content. It was messy, personal, political. He spoke about generational wounds, identity theft, dressed as representation. Trauma paraded for views but never healed. He dove into taboo topics.
What's good? Yes, I got the flower in my hair. Today's my daughter's birthday. She put the flower there, so I'm rocking it. What? It's a beautiful day here in Atlanta. I just wanted to shout out and just spread some love and some good cheer. And, you know, life is out.
Topics, mental health, cultural erasure, economic gatekeeping stuff you don't say out loud unless you're ready to rattle the cage. And Warner was rattling hard. He wasn't just Hollywood's little brother anymore. He was becoming something else entirely, something dangerous to the establishment. Someone who knew his legacy wasn't going to be handed to him. He had to build it. So when Griffin called him a warrior, we didn't hear a metaphor. We heard a movement. And when he said they went to war against the industry, we heard resistance. Because this wasn't a peaceful passing. It was a rupture. Even the location Playa Grande, Cahuta, feels too cinematic to be coincidence. Remote, beautiful, a place with no cell signal, no paparazzi, no digital footprints. If something happened there, it'd be easy to bury it under the surf. And yet the official
career in Hollywood, spanning several different shows. I did a little bit of research before this, and he had about 84 credits on his resume before passing away at just 54 years old. And TMZ also obtained photo, possibly the last photo of him that we may even have ever seen on TMZ.com at the airport on July 13th coming into Costa Rica. It's just so tragic to look at that photo and think that just a week later he'd be passing away.
report arrived with eerie speed. Cause of death, asphyxia by submersion. Autopsy complete. Story closed. But anyone who's been around long enough knows when things get quiet fast, it's not because there's nothing to say. Warner's last interviews had urgency. Like he knew time was closing in. Like he was planting something bigger than a brand. His podcast wasn't a vanity plate, was a reckoning. He wasn't chasing nostalgia. He was challenging the very structure that put him in a box. He dared to peel back the industry's polished smile and show the machinery underneath. He wasn't just asking questions. He was reclaiming narrative. And in Hollywood, that's not bold. That's dangerous. Now the questions hang like fog.
So unbelievable there. And Branson, I also was reading that just days ago, he had another podcast episode that was dropped. And now a lot of, fans are starting to really listen to that as maybe one of his last times that you hear him.